something is wrong. Not with you specifically, with all of us. Anxiety disorders are now the most common mental health condition on the planet. Over 300 million people worldwide are currently living with diagnosable anxiety, and that number has more than doubled in the last decade alone. But here's what the statistics don't capture: the hundreds of millions more who don't have a diagnosis, but still wake up with a tight chest, who lie awake at 2 a.m. running through scenarios that will never happen, who feel a constant low-grade dread they can't explain or name. This is not weakness. This is not a personal failing. This is not something you need to just push through. This is a biological response to a world your nervous system was never built for. And today, we're going to explain exactly why it's happening and what you can actually do about it. First, let's understand what anxiety actually is, because most people have it wrong. Anxiety is not a malfunction. It is not a weakness. It is one of the most sophisticated survival systems ever evolved. For hundreds of thousands of years, anxiety kept our ancestors alive. It made them alert to predators. It prepared their bodies to fight or flee. It made them hypervigilant in genuinely dangerous environments. The problem is this: that system has not changed. Your brain in 2026 is running the same threat detection software as a human living on the African savanna 100,000 years ago, but the threats have changed entirely. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a lion charging at you and a critical email from your boss, between a physical predator and a notification telling you someone unfollowed you, between the genuine danger of starvation and the abstract fear of financial instability. To your brain, all of these register as threats. All of them trigger the same biological alarm system. And in the modern world, that alarm never turns off. Let's go inside the biology. When your brain detects a threat, real or perceived, a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala fires an alarm signal. This triggers your hypothalamus, which activates your adrenal glands, which release two chemicals, adrenaline and cortisol. Within seconds, your heart rate increases. Your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. Your muscles tense. Blood is redirected away from your digestive system and toward your limbs, so you can fight or run. This is the stress response, and it is extraordinarily effective for short-term physical threats. The problem is what happens when this response is triggered chronically, when it fires dozens of times a day, every day, for years. The cortisol overload. Cortisol is a hormone that is meant to spike briefly during a threat and then return to baseline. But when you are under chronic stress, from work, from your phone, from the news, from financial pressure, from social comparison, cortisol never fully drops. Chronically elevated cortisol does four things that directly worsen anxiety. First, it keeps your amygdala in a state of hyperreactivity, meaning you perceive threats everywhere, even when there are none. Small inconveniences feel like catastrophes. Neutral facial expressions read as hostile. Second, it suppresses your prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of your brain, the part that would normally say, "This is not actually dangerous. You are safe." That voice gets quieter. The panic gets louder. Third, it disrupts your sleep, which is when your brain processes and regulates emotional responses. Less sleep means less emotional regulation. Less emotional regulation means more anxiety the next day. The cycle feeds itself. Fourth, it depletes neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin and GABA, the two chemicals most responsible for feelings of calm and safety. When they drop, anxiety fills the void. The modern amplifiers, but cortisol alone doesn't explain the scale of the crisis. There are three modern factors that are supercharging anxiety in ways that have no historical precedent. The first is information overload. The human brain evolved to process information relevant to its immediate environment: the village, the tribe, the weather. Today we are exposed to thousands of pieces of information daily: wars, disasters, political crises, economic threats, from every corner of the planet. Your nervous system interprets all of this as local threat. It cannot filter global from personal. The second is social comparison. For most of human history, you compared yourself to maybe 150 people in your immediate community. Today, social media exposes you to millions, the wealthiest, most attractive, most successful versions of people, curated and filtered to look effortless. Your brain reads this as social threat, a signal that you are falling behind, that your status is at risk, that you may be rejected by the group. That signal triggers anxiety. The third is uncertainty amplification. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty. And the modern world, with its rapid technological change, economic instability, geopolitical tension, is objectively more uncertain than any environment humans have previously navigated at scale. Your brain hates uncertainty. It reads unknown as dangerous. Let me describe a morning that might feel familiar. You wake up, and before you're even fully conscious, your mind is already running. What do I need to do today? Did I forget something? What did that message mean? Why do I feel like something bad is about to happen? You check your phone, you see news. Something terrible has happened somewhere in the world. Then you see a post, someone your age, doing something impressive, looking effortless. Then a work notification, something that needs your attention. It's 7:14 a.m. You have not eaten, you have not moved, you have not had a single quiet moment, and your cortisol is already elevated. Your amygdala is already fired. Your nervous system is already in low-grade threat mode. You carry that state into your breakfast, your commute, your meetings, your lunch, your afternoon. By evening, you're exhausted, but not in a good way. You're wired and tired at the same time. You can't relax, you can't switch off. You scroll to decompress, which makes it worse. You finally fall into a restless sleep and wake up tomorrow to do it again. That is not a character flaw. That is a nervous system that has been in activation mode for so long, it no longer knows what calm feels like. Here is the most important thing I want you to hear. You cannot think your way out of anxiety. Because anxiety is not a thought problem, it is a body problem, and it requires body-level solutions. Fix 1. The physiological sigh. This is the fastest evidence-based method to lower your anxiety response in real time. Double inhale through the nose, a short breath, then a longer breath on top of it, followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth. Do this 3 times. This specific breathing pattern deflates the air sacs in your lungs that collapsed during stress breathing, rapidly lowers heart rate, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It works in under 60 seconds. Neuroscientists at Stanford have confirmed it outperforms every other breathing technique for rapid stress reduction. Fix 2. Limit your information intake. Your nervous system was not designed to process global news in real time. Set a boundary. Check news once per day for no more than 15 minutes, at a time you choose, not first thing in the morning, not before bed. Turn off news notifications entirely. This is not ignorance. This is nervous system protection. The news will still exist. Your cortisol will thank you. Fix 3. Move your body daily. Exercise is the single most effective tool for metabolizing cortisol and adrenaline. When your body mobilizes for threat and then doesn't physically move, those stress hormones have nowhere to go. They stay in your system. A 20-minute walk, especially outdoors, has been shown in multiple studies to reduce anxiety symptoms as effectively as a low dose of medication. You don't need a gym, you need movement. Fix 4. Rebuild your sense of safety. 8:55. Anxiety grows in uncertainty. You can counter this by creating predictability in your daily life. A consistent wake time. A morning routine that doesn't begin with a screen. A wind-down ritual before bed. These aren't just habits. They are signals to your nervous system that the world is stable and safe. Your amygdala responds to pattern and predictability. Give it both. Anxiety at an all-time high is not a coincidence. It is the predictable result of placing a biological system built for the ancient world into the fastest, loudest, most uncertain environment in human history. Understanding that doesn't make the anxiety disappear, but it changes everything about how you relate to it. You are not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The question is, are you going to give it the conditions it needs to feel safe again? Start with one thing, the physiological sigh. 3 breaths, right now. If this video made something click, share it with someone who's been struggling and doesn't know why. And subscribe to Vital Drift. Every week we decode what modern life is doing to your body and mind and give you the science to fight back. See you in the next one.